A string of flash mob robberies across Los Angeles have retailers on edge. This video is from Irvine, California, just south of Los Angeles. It shows one of these robberies happening at a jewelry store. Robbers ran off with nearly $1 million worth of merchandise. Tina Patel with CBS News Los Angeles explains how local leaders are cracking down on these crimes.
In the last 2 weeks, a spike in flash mob robberies in at least a dozen high-end stores has prompted the city of LA to take action and launch a new organized retail task force to crack down on gang-led crime. Organized retail thefts including smash and grabs and grab-and-goes at several shops, including Nike, Gucci, Yves Saint Laurent, Kasubi, and the brazen robbery at a Nordstrom, where more than $300,000 worth of luxury items were stolen. Just some of the recent incidents.
No Angelino should feel like it is not safe to go shopping in Los Angeles.
There have been about 170 organized retail thefts in LA in the last 2 years, and this is not only a problem here. Across the country, shoplifting and organized retail theft cost retailers an estimated $69 billion a year. Despite a new federal law preventing the sale of stolen goods online, some still make it to online markets.
When these real high-end crimes are taking place of purses that might cost $10,000 or $25,000, they're being sold online.
Online retailer eBay partners with law enforcement to flag stolen goods.
It's where we work proactively and collaboratively with retailers to identify types of goods that may be stolen and work with law enforcement to bring prosecution to people that may be committing crimes.
The city plan includes 22 full-time investigators and 1 dedicated prosecutor to review cases. Just today, Glendale police announced the first arrest in the Saint Laurent case. Each year, the average American family spends more than $500 in higher merchandise costs because of retail thefts like these. Jerika?
Tina Patel, thank you. Well, the increase in retail theft is hitting not only Los Angeles, but cities around the country. Officials in Washington, D.C. say one local grocery store has suffered $500,000 in losses due to theft. Stores in Chicago, New York, and San Antonio are also feeling the impacts of shoplifting. Joining us now to discuss the issue is Eric Miller. He's a former FBI supervisory special agent. Eric, this is not new, this idea of organized retail, but why do you think this is happening right now?
Well, Jerika, there's really 2 reasons. One, the national average for law enforcement attrition is at 14%, and some cities are even reporting 20%. It's a problem of not enough officers on the street that can be directed to this particular crime trend. Police departments have to prioritize their resources, and of course, resources have to be prioritized towards violent crime. And criminal rings are taking notice of this.
And turning to that grocery store in Washington, for instance, are the motives behind the grocery theft, I would imagine they're a little different than when someone's grabbing bags and jewelry. And are those crimes treated in a different way because of that? I would imagine food, that's kind of more of a need, versus jewelry, bags. These things obviously cost a lot more. But if you could discuss just how they're investigated.
Well, they are investigated the same way. But you have to look at, again, the criminal organized retail theft rings that are behind this. The grocery store motivation is looking at items that can be easily resold. Mm-hmm. And resold online in flea markets, items that you might see also at other stores. Oftentimes are those items that are stolen by these syndicates. So it's just goes to higher demand for those kinds of goods, and that's why there's such a increase in the number of thefts that we're seeing. Now on the retail theft side for the higher end items, those are items that can be used to actually fund other criminal activities such as drug trafficking and human trafficking. So this is a much larger organized effort on the part of these theft rings.
So what needs to be done in terms of the responsibility, whether it is a high-end store that you would think if you're spending thousands of dollars on a bag, you might spend thousands of dollars on security. You know, I was recently in a CBS in Los Angeles, and someone walked out with a bunch of things, and I was flabbergasted, but the person said it's not our policy to go chasing after someone. So when you look at the sometimes lack of security and this idea of just let them go because it's a safety concern for the employees, what are these people to do? And maybe it's just not a big enough problem for some of these multi-million-dollar companies that have suffered loss, as you noted at the top of this interview?
Well, they have suffered huge losses, and they have to continue to spend hundreds of thousands and upwards of millions of dollars on prevention. As you mentioned, they're spending money on devices that will lock down certain items that are of high interest to these criminal organizations. Of course, that drives up the cost of goods, and it also drives the consumers away out of fear. And the stores need to spend more money on training their employees because no amount of merchandise is worth a human life, and they have to be trained on how to effectively deal with flash mobs or large numbers of people coming in and stealing at any given time. The stores can and are spending a lot of money on preventative measures such as additional technology that will read license plates, facial recognition technology, platforms that connect stores, store camera feeds directly to police cruisers and to dispatch centers. And then law enforcement is doing the same. You know, they're stepping up efforts to share information amongst the different jurisdictions where this is a problem, as well as spending more time and investigative effort on social media analysis because of these criminal rings are organized on social media.
Yeah, it's just so disturbing to see those images. And like you say, I think it does drive shoppers away because you wonder, is it safe to be here? Eric Miller, thank you for your time.
Thank you.